Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Welcome back, traders. I
I'll wake
feel
up to
like
what
the
you.
guy from SpongeBob who says, "And now the moment you've all been waiting for." Da, 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 da. No, I'm joking. GME, beautiful, beautiful breakout day. And I say this because we quite literally called the exact movement coming up to the 200-day EMA, sitting at 23.27. In case y'all are new here, slap the subscribe button because we do this every single day, in which we talk about AMC, GameStop, IWM, and the broader risk on assets market. So today we're going to be talking about AMC, GameStop, and NEO. And you can see a volume bar that is almost double your previous trading day, very close to double. And this is one of the most bullish volume bars that I think I've seen on GameStop since all the way back in September. So for me, this is correlation that you are about to see one of the nastiest moves on GameStop if this is able to hold going into Friday. I say this because I am very wary in the moment that this could be a bull trap. Why do I say that? It's because SPY, ladies and gentlemen, SPY did exactly what we talked about in our last video, episode, whatever you want to call it. I'm here for y'all. And what SPY did was you broke down from this rising wedge formation that you've been in since November. Came back to fill the gap that you left sitting at 690 and 10 cents. And then now you've closed with a red spinning bearish candle. Still, is it possible to continue going up? Of course. And in fact, I freaking wish that it does. I really hope that it does. But you've yet to complete your profit target from this rising wedge. And if that is the case, guys, you are about to spill over 4.28% on SPY. Now, what that does to GameStop, I have no idea. We're going to have to find out, traders. Let's find out together. But what I do know here is this is one of the nastiest breakouts I've seen on GameStop in quite some time. We'll talk about AMC in a second. You tagged your 200-day EMA. In doing so, you left two gaps. You left a gap sitting at 21.93 and then a gap sitting at 21.25. Something significant, though, is about to happen on the daily, and that is your 9-day EMA is about to cross over your 50. Now, when this happens, traders, this signifies that your short-term trend is stronger than your medium-term trend. That is what I'm waiting for to see how this thing reacts, because if you get back above the 200-day EMA, guys, you saw how perfectly you wicked off of it here in the early trading of December and then just capitulated. I'm hoping we don't see that again. It's very possible we do, but this change, and I think the difference between the two moves is look at the volume. Okay. Look at how beautifully ramped up this volume was from this falling wedge breakout that we had going back to the early January trading. Saw a breakout, a super low, super low bearish volume retest of the 9-day EMA, and then you just full sent this stock, and you've been in a nonstop kind of gap up situation here for the last 3 days. Coming off of good news, we know that GameStop runs off of juicy news in post-market trading. So typically when this happens, right, you see these monster uproars, right, this upside move, and then we see a disgusting candlestick, right, one like this, and you reverse. You have yet to get that disgusting candlestick. So it is in my belief that you are either going to do two things, right, going into Friday. I think the most bullish Friday close here is you wick down, you fill the gap, right, that sits at 21.93 tomorrow morning. Let's say SPY opens up bloody. You then wick off of it, right, and you close above this trend line. Now, what that does is two things. You fill the gap, you retest your falling wedge breakout. And if you do that on low volume, traders, I will become extremely bullish on GameStop, more than I already am, right? Because you have completely defied the odds that I believe to be true. And going back to GameStop, right? You had your bullish div, right here. And it's okay to be wrong in a thesis. Oops, if you adjust it. Of course, could you hightail back into the teens to test the belly of the beast? Yes, you can. I hope you don't now that you've seen this crazy price action, but you absolutely can, and it is a possibility if SPY takes a negative turn that you see one of these, right? I hope it doesn't happen. But what we identified on this channel was that there is a possibility laying ahead of us on GameStop that you have this bullish divergence on the RSI, seeing a higher low but an equal low on price, and that this led to the pop in price action that we so desperately needed, seeing a breakout of this nasty, disgusting, bullish falling wedge, guys. And I cannot be more excited than I currently am because of the trajectory of this stock once it breaks out of falling wedges, guys. Just so you are aware, this is a macro falling wedge, right? When you found your bullish divergence, in case you guys are not seeing it, I'm going to show you. Higher low, lower low. What do you have currently? You have the exact same setup. And I'm not saying Pluto, Mars, tomorrow, right? But I am saying, guys, this thing looks nasty, and I expect a nice size launch off of this retest if you're able to hold strong above. Now, let's say you're not. There's two scenarios that happen if you are not able to hold above. The one is still very bullish. So I just want to keep that in the back of your mind, right? Even if you reject this trend line and it's a nasty daily candle, there is the scenario in which you create a 3 rising valleys formation. In case you guys do not know, 3 rising valleys is one of the most bullish continuation patterns in the entire stock market. And to see it happen on GameStop would be one of the most beautiful signs that the bottom is in on GameStop and that you are about to go higher out of this falling wedge and out of this choppy ass range, right? Let's just keep it a buck. So you can see higher low, and then you're looking for your last higher low here that would probably look something like this, right? You fizzle out, momentum fizzles, you fill these 2 gaps, make your third higher low, and then you make your third higher high, regain this previous trend of support that now turned into resistance, and then you freaking fly, guys. And if you get above 28, don't even get me started. Come on. Genuinely. The stock looks freaking nasty right now. So I'm trying to ride the highs of this momentum, and we will see how this plays out quite literally tomorrow. I am intrigued to see tomorrow's close. If you continue to go, guys, it might be go time. So that is GameStop in a nutshell. Testing the 200-day EMA and about to get that flip of the 9 over the 50, showing a strong, bullish short-term trend. So I'm here for it, guys. It looks freaking nasty. And just look at the weekly freaking candle, guys. You can see on the weekly time frame, 23.28 was your 50-day EMA. We called that yesterday, saying you might come up here and test it. What did you do? I'm just saying, what did you do? You came up and tested it, and now you are looking to close at the top of this candle wick for one of the most bullish candlesticks you've had since right here. And every single freaking boom candle, right, you've seen continuation. So I'm looking for one of these boomies to hold its strength, just like here, right? It's one of these candlesticks. You did see a blow off top, but even if you get that blow off top, guys, it gives you room for consolidation. If you can hold this candle and not see one of these, upside, right? You're going higher. Not financial advice. We talked about a very, very positive sign of momentum, seeing the weekly MACD cross to the upside for the first time genuinely since September. I know we've had a couple of flirts here where you almost crossed early December, mid-December, and then I even think early January, but we are getting it for real right now, and you can feel the momentum and the hype, right? The stock is flying high right now, so very, very good to see for the retail community. I wanted to go over, Fintel, because I wanted to check what your short interest is at, what are your days to cover at on not just GameStop, but AMC as well. GME short interest. Bam. Come on, load. So you're sitting at a 16.13 short interest, and you've seen days to cover dramatically go down now that you've seen volume enter the chat. Not surprised at all, but what is encouraging is this has increased just a little bit, but is holding flat while GameStop absolutely rips ass. I am very, very excited to see if you see a little bit of popping here for some of that short interest to go down. But we shall see, right? You haven't seen shorts close anything yet, and it shows AMC short interest, and this is where it gets exciting. 20.14, still holding strong on AMC on the short interest. And let's just dabble a little bit into AMC because AMC had a pretty tremendous close here, closing the highest it's closed in the last 10 trading days. Or 10 days, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. You had your highest close in over a week pretty much. So encouraging sign as you break out of this falling wedge, very similarly to GME. And it seems like you've had some pretty strong resistance at the 170 territory. So that is your level to break on AMC in order to see this $2 threshold. And you have a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders playing out here with shoulder, head, right shoulder. And if that plays out, guys, I'm expecting a pretty nice move up to that $2 territory. And oh, wow. Right? Oh, wow. How convenient that takes you right in to your previous all-time low. We're going to mark that trajectory of the stock. And if you can successfully consolidate above this trend line, right? This is your monster trend line that has been smacking you down since $3. Oh no, my laptop. There we go. Okay, we're back. That was scary. How do we look? All right, we're back. It's been the monster trend line that has been smacking you down since October, right? So if you're able to break above that, for me, that would indicate that some kind of, at least for now, bottom would be in, and that you could potentially look to see a bullish rally or bullish relief here. Let's check the weekly candle because that is what I'm interested in. And the weekly candle looks pretty nice. And I'm more so just looking at the RSI, to be honest. RSI dipping out of the oversold territory and rallying towards this weekly MACD. This is what we have been talking about AMC for over a month. That if you were able to cross the weekly MACD, you failed to do it here when you had an 11% week. But you are currently on trajectory. If you can hold this bullish momentum, break out of your inverted head and shoulders pattern to do something that has led to almost a 40% gain on AMC every single time it's happened, right? Let's just take a look back in time. You bottomed here, you retested the RSI band. So follow my cursor, break the RSI band, retest, and then you squoze, or at least ran 57%, just a little bit. Right? Just a little minor 54%. Same thing happened here, crossed back above the RSI band of the weekly, retested, and then this one, we all know what happens. You squeeze upwards of 400%. So just in the last couple of instances when you break and retest, guys, this thing has been absolutely volatile, wickedly so. So that's what I'm watching for AMC, and the weekly close is up only 2.4%, but it feels like such a win, right? Such a win for the AMC apes. As you can see, getting a little bit of a bid here at the bottom from GameStop relief rally, as well as drum roll. Come on, I'm waiting for the drum roll, Kyle. Do it. As well as AMC. As well as IWM. And I say this because IWM hit another all-time high today. Almost the fourth video in a row, it feels like, right? That you've hit an all-time high. However, you left a bearish sign that makes me believe that not just SPY is coming down, but IWM might take in a little bit more of an extended breather here, considering it was lower volume. So I'll give the bulls that. But you did have a pretty wicked doji here, a really ugly one, leaving a gap as well, sitting at 268.59. Why is this important? Although you had a similar candle here, and that did drop you down to the 9-day EMA, and then you rallied. These kind of candles at the tops, like this is the kind of candle you're talking about. The next day you had a 2% red day. So don't be surprised when tomorrow opens up bloody, but it will be about how does our lovable meme stocks react? How is the volume threshold, right? Even though this day was an absolute capitulation, the volume wasn't really even there. You had a doji finish with more volume the very next day. So that's what we'll be covering on here tomorrow. Seeing as though the volume today was so low on IWM, even though you got an all-time high. So that's what we're going to be watching. Fear and Greed Index, shall we? Fear and Greed Index. Stock market sitting a little bit above neutral, which is a good sign. And then crypto, I mean, you just can't beat it. Still in extreme fear. Just crazy, crazy opportunity there. And we'll see how that pans out, but kind of nutty that it's still in extreme fear. Let's talk a little bit more about AMC. Let's go to the monthly time frame here. Monthly time frame, you are putting in potentially, guys, one of your highest volume candles on the monthly with a bullish hammer candle, guys. This is one of the best signs that you want to see going into the end of the month in January for a bottom. If you want to find one of these kind of rallies, you need to see this bottom close at least, right? At least at 170 to 175 this month. And if that happens, guys, you are going to put in one of the most bullish hammer candles, one of the most crazy hammer candles that you've seen on the monthly since I honestly couldn't tell you when you saw a monthly bullish hammer, besides for here kind of, and here. You did see a bullish hammer here, which that's just so nutty to me. That is so freaking nutty. I want to look at the Bollinger Bands because I have not seen them in quite some time. Still expanding, and you are currently pretty much at the bottom band, which does give good opportunity typically. Let's go with the quarterly MACD. Still so freaking close. As this quarter closes out, when does this quarter close out? May. I guess we'll cover it in May. If you have this crazy-esque move up to $2.50 to $3, I do expect this to cross. And then after May, shorts may go away, right? I mean, this might be crazy to say, oh my God, I'm spitting rhymes at the Bay. I'm joking. That's a Happy Gilmore reference in case you guys aren't aware. But I do anticipate a bid, pretty strong one of that, to come off the quarterly MACD cross. So we shall see how this quarter closes out, but genuinely some positive signs on AMC that this might be the bottom on the monthly time frame. And on the daily, you're having a little bit of a Bollinger Band squeeze. So don't be surprised here if AMC gets a little bit more volatile, considering GameStop's volatility, right? You still have not seen this thing really pop off like it did back here, So that's what we're watching for AMC and GameStop. I wanted to divulge just a tad bit, so bear with me here. Community, right? Lentic, I freaking love you, bro. You're on every single comment, and every single person, regardless of whether or not you are what people call fudsters. I appreciate all of the engagement, and genuinely, to everyone who is new, has been with us a while, doesn't matter, right? Moas, man, going absolutely ballistic. You guys keep it up with the good comments, keep it up with the engagement, right? This is what I'm doing this for us to build this retail revolution, this foundation that we can build off of, right? To help people get familiarized with trading patterns, trading strategies, and of course, not financial advice. I love each and every single one of you guys. And remember, the best is yet to come, guys. God bless.